Hi there everyone, today we're going to look at quadratic simultaneous equations. Okay, so what we're doing is we've got two equations which we're going to come across in a second, and we're going to have to basically solve them simultaneously. Alright, so we've done this a little bit in terms of before or on another lesson where we looked at it in terms of plotting a graph. Alright, but of course we're now going to look at doing it the algebraic way. Alright, so let's have a look in terms of what we've got. So it suggests from here you're going to substitute one into the other. All right, so you must have use substitution when you have one linear and one quadratic equation. All right, that obviously is only the case if you are not graphing it. All right, and of course we are not. All right, so that's what we're doing. So you usually get two sets of solutions because again it's a quadratic. All right, so that tends to mean that we have basically, if you can imagine a quadratic graph as a parabola, then we're going to have a line that goes through it, and it'll probably cut it twice. Okay, so let's have a look at an example. So we've got y is equal to x squared, so this is our quadratic, and then we've got 2y plus 4x equals 16. Now this is our linear, basically our linear graph, or a straight line graph. Okay, so we've got two ways of doing this. All right, so I've got y equals x squared, and I've got 2y plus 4x equals 16. All right, well, if I'm going to substitute something in from here to into here, then I need either y equals something or x equals something. Okay, so here we've got y equals 2x squared, and 2y plus 4x equals 16. All right, well, I've got y equals x squared here, so I could easily substitute this value of x squared into this one. All right, rather than rearranging this one, it's probably much easier to say, well, if y equals x squared, let's put x squared there. Okay, so let's have a look. So here we can see we can place y in 2 with x squared, and that's what we're going to do. All right, so we can see I've got 2x squared plus 4x equals 16. So what I've done is I've literally substituted wherever y is in this one with the value of x squared from this one. All right, so there we go. So 2x squared plus 4x equals 16. Right, at this point, it's a quadratic. I've got x's in there, I've got numbers in there, and it's now just a case of rearranging and trying to solve it. All right, so there's two ways you can do this, and what you should do is try and get everything to the left-hand side and make it equal 0. All right, so the only way you really solve any quadratic is you make it equal 0 and then deal with it like that. Okay, so let's get everything to the left-hand side. So we've got the 16 currently on the right-hand side, it's a positive, so move it to the left and it becomes negative. So you've got 2x plus 4x minus 16. You'll notice that all these currently are all even numbers, so we can divide everything through by 2. That is one option. Alternatively, you can see from here we haven't bothered. They've just gone straight to factorising it. All right, so you've got two ways of potentially doing it. I think I would have personally gone for dividing it all through by 2. It would have probably given you it will give you the same solutions, but it would have been a bit easier to factorise it. All right, but not to worry. So we factorised it, so you've got 2x in one bracket and an x in the other. That came from here. And then I'm looking for two numbers at times to give you the minus 16, so minus 4 and a 4. And then I'm looking at the times in together, so I've got minus 4x there, and I've got 8x there, and that gives me the 4x, so that's where it's going to come from. All right, so in terms of the two solutions, well, certainly it's from the two x value solutions, it's when each of these bracket equals 0. So what value from this bracket does x need to be to make it equal 0? Well, it needs to be minus 4. And then here, or what value of x here makes this bracket equal 0? Well, the value of 2. So it's going to be 2 and minus 4. All right, so they're my two x solutions. But you're not done. All right, you have found the two values for x, but of course we are solving a simultaneous equation, so we also need to find the reciprocating y values. All right, so we're going to substitute these two one at a time into either of these two equations. Now the easiest one for me to go to is probably this top one. All right, because you've got an x value of 2 and you're just going to square it. All right, so it's going to give you a 4. You're going to put minus 4 into here, and you do minus 4 times minus 4, which is 16. So that's going to give you your two other solutions, which I just kind of mentioned. So there's the 4, so your y value is 4, 2 squared, and the other y value is 16. All right, so that's one way of kind of doing it. All right, the other way of looking at it is when it's a little bit more awkward, and you can see from there where you've got y equals x minus 1, and you've got maybe an equation of a circle. And if you don't know what the equation of a circle looks like, well, it looks like x squared plus y squared equals something else squared. It looks a little bit like that. All right. So when we're looking to solve this one, a little bit more awkward in terms of what we do, but I am still looking to substitute one thing into the other thing. And the easiest way, because I've got y equals, it's much easier just to take this and put it wherever y is into this one, all right? But of course, this is x minus 1, 2 terms into where y is, so it's going to come in there and become squared. And you'll notice when I substitute it in, I put it in as a bracket because it's all of that squared, so it's all the y squared. So that means all the x minus 1, so there, and equals 5. Now that, a bracket squared is a double bracket, so I need to expand that double bracket, all right, which is going to be x squared minus 2x plus 1 when I expand that double bracket. All right, if you need to write out the whole two brackets to do it, then please do so. So I've done it without. And then we're looking to kind of simplify it a little bit. And we're trying to get everything to the left hand side to make it equal 0 like I did in the previous one. So I've got 2x squared minus 2x plus 1 equals 5. Get the 5 across as well. So 2x squared minus 2x minus 4 equals 0. Well, like I mentioned last time, I would be tempted at this stage to divide it all through by 2. But of course, we haven't. We've just factorised it. So you'll notice I keep suggesting things to make your life easier, but it doesn't have to be that way. You can do it in a different way. So what you probably would have here is an x plus 1 instead. All right, if you divide it all through by 2. But I'll let you try and see if that works for you. All right, by all means, give it a go and see what happens. Okay, when you divide everything by 2. So we've got 2x plus 2 and x minus 2. So what value of x in here makes this bracket equal 0? What the value of 2? Or what value of x in this bracket makes it equal to 0? Well, it's got to be minus 1, because it's got to be minus 2 plus 2. So it's going to be minus 1 and 2. You can see those. And like I did last time, you're going to now substitute these two values back into the easiest equation, which is going to be the top one. So your y value is going to be your x, 1, take away 1. So it's going to be minus 1, minus 1, so it's going to give me minus 2 for the first one. And then when I substitute 2 in it, well, 2 take away 1 is 1. And that's going to give me a y value for the next one. All right, so that's it done. All right, so if you think you need, and it's probably worthwhile doing some more practice, please go to maths-school.co.uk. As normal, there's a link at the bottom of the page for you to kind of access it. But obviously the videos and the content is already there if you need to kind of revisit at any point. All right, well, thanks for listening.